You know, where I am, it's ridiculously hard to find some good Godzilla and Tokusatsu merchandise. The Walmarts at my place almost never have anything. We don't even have Target anymore, so that's off the table. That means whenever I want to get a regular Bandai vinyl figure, I'll have to buy it online through eBay or the official Godzilla store with an online proxy, and God forbid I go back to using Amazon. Now one day I was thinking, I have seen Godzilla merch around in certain stores, specifically stores centering around comic books and anime for some reason, so I decided I was gonna go on a mission. I was gonna go around and explore different stores to see if I could find some cool Godzilla toys, and if I did, I would take some home and make a video about it. As a result, my mom slapped some cash in my face and sent me off into the city, and thus, the hunts began. What's up, gals and guys, or whatever you may identify, it's me, KaiJS, and welcome to my Godzilla toy hunt. In this video, I'll be visiting a few stores to see if I can find some cool Godzilla merch, well, any kaiju or toku merch in general, and by the end we'll go over everything we've picked up along the way. Unlike other toy hunts, there's no clear objective. I'll just see what I can find and roll with it from there, so come join me on this adventure as we hunt for Godzilla. It's not often that I get to do a video like this. I feel like maybe this is the only time I'll try doing something like this. But pretty much how this is gonna go is I'm gonna go into a variety of different stores to find cool Godzilla merch. That's gonna be the objective of the video, to find something cool. And if I don't, then maybe I won't upload this. And look, there's our first stop. Okay, so about this place, I saw a really cool Jet Jaguar like a while back. I'm not sure if it's still here, but pretty much we're gonna go inside, see if we find anything cool. But yeah, I already said that. I've got a few places on my list, so I guess it's the first. I don't know if I'll be able to record inside the establishment, but oh well. Our first stop is a store simply called Anime Extreme, which is apparently an official collaborator with Tamashii Nations, the company which was behind the SH Monster Arts figure line. I guess that explains why they were so extremely stacked with SH Monster Arts figures, and they even had some on display. Some things that stood out to me were the SH Monster Arts Godzilla Ultraman headrest sets, and they even had a Gamera figure there. Unfortunately, taking pictures within the store wasn't allowed, so I can't really show you too much, so just enjoy this Roblox Attack on Titan gameplay. Of course, they primarily sold anime related items, so I shouldn't have been too surprised when I saw that they sold Ultraman anime items too. I guess I was just surprised to see so many Ultraman and Kamen Rider items all in one place. On an unrelated note, they also had a few boxes of Polygon toys, and luckily for me, they didn't have Shamrock, because if they did, I would definitely fold, if you know what I mean. I probably would have paid a little extra. The last time I went to Anime Extreme, the staff was pretty rude to me and wouldn't let me take my time when looking through their huge array of items, and I was pretty much rushed out. That's why I was hesitant to go in to begin with, but this time the staff was actually really nice, probably because they weren't the same ones I saw a few years back. It was a pretty good experience overall. The other Ultraman stuff was pretty pricey, but I didn't want to leave empty-handed, and I'm not as big a fan of highly articulated figures as I was before, so I did pick up something that I've run into a few times before actually. Along the huge shelf of SH Monster Arts Godzilla items was a box set called Destroy All Monsters Round 1, featuring Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and Anguirus. Round 2 was also up for grabs and featured King Ghidorah, Gorosaurus, Baragon, and to my surprise, Manila. But it was more expensive than round 1, which already cost over $100. Again, I didn't want to leave empty-handed, and there was no way I was getting an SH Monster Arts figure, so I settled for round 1 of the Destroy All Monsters, and decided to go to our next stop. Okay, I'm telling you, they were stacked with SH Monster Arts figures. I hate inflation at my place because they always end up going at like $99. I think I saw the Final Wars, or was it was either the Final Wars Godzilla or the, what was it? New Empire Godzilla pre-evolved, and then it was like, bro, I'm not paying $150 for that. But I didn't want to go empty-handed. I came here after all, and I'm not even sure if the other places will have anything, so I picked up this. It looked pretty cool. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Round 1. We got at the back here Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and Anguirus. I might do a separate video on this set entirely, So look forward to that. Was it worth $135? I don't know, but I came here. If I'm not gonna get anything, then what was the freaking point? So I might do a separate video on that. Look forward to it, and I can actually use these for something. Our next stop, and my favorite out of every location I visited, is a small shop called Anime City, and I'm sure you've picked up on the pattern that I briefly mentioned a bit earlier. Now, despite the name, this place was packed to the brim with Toku related stuff. I'm talking toys, collector's items, statues, and I even caught sight of these weird Godzilla masks. There were masks based on Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and even Hedorah of all things. Better yet, they had even more anime Ultraman and Kamen Rider stuff. To my surprise, I even saw regular Bandai vinyl toys. Some had standard colors and some even had bright vibrant colors. The majority of them were Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and Power Rangers themed. They sold for fairly decent prices too. I caught sight of a Bandai Anime Ultra 7 figure only going for about $20, and right next to it I saw an Ultraman Zafi from Shin Ultraman going for about $30. Normally you have to pay way more when you buy these things online. I felt like I was in Tokusatsu heaven, except there was one thing missing. As if there was a Godzilla-shaped hole in my heart. I was on a mission to find Godzilla. Yeah, everything there seemed super cool, and I was going to cop one or two Ultraman and Gamera things for my own personal enjoyment, but Godzilla came first to my agenda when it came to this hunt, and there wasn't a single Godzilla Bandai vinyl in sight. So I asked the guy running the store if he had any Bandai Godzilla toys sitting around, and he explained to me that at the moment the store didn't have any. He told me that they were being shipped, but that they were being sent back on a boat, and neither of us were very fond of the thought of all those Bandai Godzilla vinyls just getting lost at sea. Imagine scuba diving one day and you just run into a bunch of tiny Godzillas. He said that they would have them soon, and that was my sign that I was definitely gonna come back. I then asked if the Gamera Microman toy was up for grabs, and it turns out that it was. I ended up getting that, along with the Ultraman Zafi that I had mentioned earlier. The guy running the place noticed that I just had a backpack and decided that I needed a plastic bag to store my items in, so that the beautiful paint on Zafi won't chip. Now that's what I like to see in people who run those stores. Things like that just prove that these people actually care about the products that they're selling. He even gave me some advice on what I should do when it came with how I wanted to use the Gamera Microman set. I think I actually forgot to get my change for the purchase. Oh well, he can keep it just because of how cool he was. Yeah, this place was a blast to visit, and I'll be sure to come back in the future. Bro, the amount of money I waste on these things is insane. Like, bro, okay, so look at this. Look at this. I got this from Anime Extreme. It's a 4-figure set, and it costed like over $100. You got Godzilla, Ryan, Mothra, Anguirus. I don't even know how big these are, but like, got multiple parts, and it costed so much. And then the second place I had to, they had even more. Like, bro, look, I have Gamera with this stupid little guy that I'm not even gonna use. He's gonna go inside the Gamera, and I have a golden Ultraman. I have a golden Ultraman. Like, bro, okay, the golden one looks accurate, but it all costs so much. I ended up paying like $90 for all this. The next place that I had on my list ended up not having any Godzilla or Toku related stuff, so I cut out that section entirely. And my next stop was a place called Conspiracy, a store dedicated to comics and anime. Because they sold anime stuff, I thought it was worth checking, even if the Conspiracy I normally went to never usually had Godzilla stuff. Apparently the Conspiracy I was headed for was bigger than the one I go to normally, so I had some pretty high expectations. Unfortunately though, the Conspiracy I was headed for was nowhere to be found when I arrived. I think the place closed down entirely. It wasn't all that bad because my next stop ended up being a Hot Topic of all places, which was just nearby. They didn't have too much Godzilla stuff other than these small keychains, and to my surprise, an official Godzilla coloring book. Weirdly enough, I found this sitting behind a Five Nights at Freddy's coloring book and the official novelization for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. That was when I realized that this Godzilla coloring book was in the Five Nights at Freddy's section for some reason. I wasn't feeling it very much with the coloring book anyway, so I left it where I found it and just picked up 2 Godzilla keychain blind bags. Nothing too noteworthy here, so I was off to my next stop, which was GameStop. I expected GameStop to have some Godzilla stuff laying around, since the one I went to last time had some Playmates Godzilla toys. That's actually how I managed to cop my Battle War Godzilla and Scar King. Unfortunately, I was pretty much out of luck with this GameStop since the only things they had were these tiny Godzilla X Kong toys and this weird Godzilla children's mask that I had no interest in getting. Now, I thought this was going to be the end of my journey until I managed to find another GameStop not too far away. I stepped inside and I had a bit more luck with finding Godzilla stuff. I found this weird Godzilla Smashes set with 2 Godzillas and 1 Rodan. One of the Godzillas was blue. They look kinda like U2's toys. They seem pretty cool, but they're not exactly my thing, so I moved on. As I continued, I ran into some more Godzilla X Kong Playmates toys, specifically Battle War versions of Kong and Skarking, along with more tiny GXK toys. But there was one thing that really caught my eye. You see that blue Rodan over there? I thought that was super cool and decided to pick it up. I didn't really want anything else that this GameStop had to offer in terms of kaiju things. I already had a Battle War Skarking, and that Kong figure really didn't look too pretty. What's up with these figure companies and making terrible Kong toys? Plus, what was I gonna do with all those mini GXK toys? Buy them all and resell them on eBay for ridiculous price? Actually, in hindsight, that probably wouldn't have been a terrible idea. With that, I decided that I was content with everything and concluded my mission. I found Godzilla and even more things that I never thought I'd run into. Here's a quick look at everything we've gathered up to this point. I'll quickly guide you through everything that's here to conclude the video, but I'll go further in depth in separate videos. What? Of course I'm gonna take advantage of today and make more videos out of it. I'm gonna milk this shit. I mean, look at this. We've got Godzilla, Ultraman, Gamera, and all this stuff I've just wasted a boatload of money on. Let's get all this junk out of the way and get to the good stuff first. First, we'll take a look at the Destroy All Monsters Round 1 box set. This set comes with 4 figures, Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and Anguirus, all based on the designs from the Destroy All Monsters movie. These figures were a bit bigger than I expected, and they're really well detailed and painted for the relatively smaller size. These aren't just small statues that can't move, they also have a few points of articulation, and all of them come with different accessories. For instance, Godzilla comes with separate punching arms, a neutral head, and an atomic breath piece. Rodan and Anguirus come with alternative heads as well, and Mothra has a cool web effect. Now you can make Mothra shoot webs at Anguirus while Godzilla forces her to back off. Rodan's just watching. Now I know the box clearly says that these aren't toys, but I found myself playing with them a bit after I opened them up. This is probably one of my favorite things I got from this adventure. I'll be sure to give this a full review later on. Now let's take a good look at Ultraman Zavi from Shin Ultraman. Not really much I have to say right now, but I think it's a really good figure overall. It's a really well painted figure, and I love the golden paint they use. In terms of accuracy, I'd say it's on point. I don't really see how they could mess this up if I'm being honest. I just kinda wish that the arms were in a slightly different position. He looks like he's confused or lost. Aside from that, the figure is pretty solid, and I'll be sure to go more in depth in its own separate view. Looking at the keychain blind bags, the first keychain I got was Space Godzilla. Normally I wouldn't really have any high standards for these kind of things, but just look at this. It seems way too detailed and well painted to just be a keychain. This should have just been a full-size figure, given how good this looks. I'm actually scared to use it as a keychain in case it breaks. The second blind bag. Looks like we got Biollante this time, and this looks so much better than Space Godzilla. And Space Godzilla already looked fantastic. Look at the paint job and details. Biollante's back reminds me of a pine cone.
Sonic, you trained your whole life for this. You cannot disappoint. You got this.
You overcooked it! As I said, these look way too good just to be keychains. I'm not sure what I'll do with these actually. They're still pretty cool though. Now, one of the most interesting things I've run into on this adventure was this vintage toy color Rodan 1964 figure by Super 7. It seemed really cool, so I picked it up. Looking at the back of the box, they have 3 waves of figures, all featuring different monsters and different variations of Godzilla. Hopefully this GameStop starts selling these other figures too, because this had me interested. Now I don't think I'll try opening this figure up. It looks way too cool just to be played with. I can see it having some value in the future. Oh my gosh, there's no way, it's already broken. I was just trying to open it, it's so fragile. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it broke before I even got to give you a good look at it. I don't know why it was so fragile. All I did was try to remove it from the plastic packaging.
I wasn't being too forceful or anything. I was able to reattach the wing, sorta. It's really flimsy compared to the wing that remained intact. The colors on this were really nice too. Maybe I'll go more in depth in a future video, but for now...
I'm actually never forgiving myself for this. I'm just not gonna use this ever again. Now I'm scared to open the next one.
I was hesitant to open up this show a Gamera Microman set after what happened to Rodan, but I made sure to be extra careful with this one, especially given how old it is.
Let's try to get this open. So it seems like it's just being held together with tape, implying that this has already been used. No problem. It's my figure now. I'll try my best to take care of it. You can skip ahead in the video if you really want to. I'm just trying to get this open. I'm not even sure why I'm needing this in the video. Maybe so I can record myself and if I screw up and mess it up, and I can like make a clown out of myself. I mean, look what happened to Blue Rodan over there, Vintage Rodan. Oh boy. I'm not going to be able to live with myself. Oh my gosh. Teeny tiny bit of the packaging got damaged, but it's okay. There's already cracks and crevices all over this packaging. I'll try to be careful. Alright, that should be all good. So, what we want to do is open it like so. There we go. Alright, so we got alternate hands for the little guy, and I think inside here are the stickers that you put on them. But the guy selling these to me said, like, oh, if you're going to put the figurine guy inside of the Gamera suit, then there's no point in putting on the stickers, especially because they are old, and I don't want to, like, decrease the value more than it already is. As much as I want to use this for videos, I actually want to, I'll keep the stickers. I won't use them for anything. What's going on here? Do I look a piece of packaging break? So we've got even more tape. So I guess this is how you do it when you plan on reselling your figures. You tape it up, I guess, all the way. Make sure nothing falls out. Maybe I'll do that with my SH Monster Arts, since I do not plan on using it anymore for like pretty much anything. One more tape. I can actually see the line. Alright. Don't reattach it to the... No, you could have skipped ahead instead of just like waiting for me to. But if you watched up to like this point, then like mad respect. Yeah. Like, you didn't have to sit through all this, but the fact that you did shows that like, you really care about what I have to say, and that you're really interested in what all this is about. I respect that. Alright. So this is almost done. Gamera's hands are starting to fall out, but yeah, we got it open.
The Microman itself was pretty cool and had a wide range of articulation. I originally wanted to use the Gamera suit itself as a separate figure, but in order to get the hands and feet on the rubber Gamera, I needed to put the Microman inside. So after struggling for a good 10 to 15 minutes, I finally managed to get the Microman in the Gamera and fully assembled everything. Gamera looks amazing here, and he just feels so nice to hold. It's like you're holding an actual mini rubber suit. Who would have guessed that unknowingly would predict this toy line? The figure is really well detailed for what it is too. I don't think I'll be taking the Microman out of the Gamera since I have way too much fun with how it is. Plus, I'm not willing to take the Microman out again unless I plan on selling this in the future. I'll be sure to give this a separate review in the future, but for now, Monster Island Buddies has an amazing video covering the Microman Kaiju toy line, so I strongly urge you to check it out. I'll link their video somewhere in the description for you guys to watch, or you can find it in the top right corner of the video. Huge inspiration for my channel. So, that concludes this Godzilla toy hunt. I'd call this a success. So many interesting things were found, and I had a blast going to all these different places and seeing what I could find. If I were to rank everything gathered from this video, it would go as follows. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Round 1, Microman Gamera, Shin Ultraman Zafi, Keychains, and Retro Rodan, but only because it broke so easily. Was there anything you saw in the video that you think I should have picked up? What was your favorite thing from this video? And what's your favorite piece of Godzilla or Tokusatsu merchandise that you have? I'd love to hear about your thoughts and your own experiences in the comments. It was seriously such a fun video to make. I really got to unlock my inner child today. I know there are a lot of people who think Godzilla and Tokusatsu may be stupid, and there are certainly people who think collecting merch is even more so. Even so, yeah, I like Godzilla toys, and what about it? If someone has a problem, they can go do something else. It's been a part of me since I was young, and I regret trying to force myself to shut away from it for nearly 2 years. I guess this was a good time to catch up with my younger self. This is what I enjoy, and I can only guess that you like this too since you've watched the video up to this point. So, go ahead and enjoy the things that make you happy, and maybe try to stay on a budget unlike me. These things do get pretty pricey. I spent nearly $300. I guess that's the end of this video. Thanks for coming along with me on this adventure. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to hit the like button, not only for YouTube's algorithm, but to let me know that I'm posting good content for you guys. If you know a Godzilla fan who's interested in these kind of things, then maybe even consider sharing this video with them. Also, if it's your first time here, now would be a good time to check out some of my other content. Who knows, maybe if you like what you see enough, you can subscribe? It would really mean a lot and it would seriously help out. If you hit the bell, you'll also be notified when I go more in depth about the things I covered in this video. I'm also on other social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter, so the links to those will be in the description as well. I think that about covers it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later, G-fans. Stomp on!